And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another edition here, another day, the grand finals, I should say, of the Latino American League, the LATAM League grand finals are finally here. I'm of course your VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all. This has been a 2-month-long event, going through the group stage, going through the playoff bracket as well, until we finally have our top 2 players in Latino America. Let's go, baby. Let's go as we do catch up. As we switch things over on the bracket itself. Again, it's been an intense tournament here. We had our group stage. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cover the group stage ourselves, but we were able to cover the playoff bracket. As you can see here, we had Mute, one of our heavy hitters, one of the newer faces in the scene. I say newer faces from about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago at this point. Taking down Darker Name, taking down Eon. Eon took down Davito. We had an intense semifinals there between Mute and Eon. Eon showcased some crazy builds, but did go down. Likewise, Sagan making his return. Again, Sagan has been gone for a very, very long time. He was active back in the day, back in like 2021, 2022, then stepped away, retired, but recently did come back. And we did notice Sagan competing in-house tournaments. I want to say he was competing in like the LTK power rankings, or like the Team Gosu in-house tournaments. Like there were a couple like in-house tournaments that I did notice that Sagan was playing in once again in recent times, and apparently back in form. I'll be honest, I didn't really think too much of it, but no, Sagan, he pops off, had an intense back and forth against Luciano, but did take down Ducklings 3-0 in those semi-finals, and that leads us into the grand finals. Leads us here into Mute versus Sagan in that PvP. We can't escape it, even here in Latino America, baby. Oh my god. But regardless, we have a grand final. It's gonna be a best of 7 PvP between Mute and Sagan. Now, first things first, I do apologize. This is gonna be a replay cast. These matches did happen a couple of days ago. Originally we were gonna cast it live. We casted the semis live, the quarterfinals live, but the finals were scheduled to be next week. And we were good to go. We were organized. We were slotted into our calendar. Then at the last second, they did reschedule to this week, and we already were going live with GSL. We were going through our GSL playoffs cast at the time. So this is a couple days old, but we're now jumping in to catch up on what did occur in those grand finals. Let's go. Let's go. Let us jump into said PvP. And again, the players have had a week to prepare, a week ahead of time, knowing their matches, preparing certain builds. I'm curious what our players have been cooking. What have they been cooking, Papa? Let's go. We're about to find out. We're about to find out. Game 1 is going to be on ley lines. Let's jump into our first game of the grand finals of our best of 7. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have our Peruvian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Bing Bong Exports. Just setting up our player names. There we go. Bing Bong Exports. It is Mute. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chilean Protoss player. We have the purple Protoss representing Team Gosu. It is Sagan. Here we go. And again, it's been quite some time since I've seen these two duke at it, or especially Sagan. Again, he was active many years ago, did step away, did retire. Now he has returned, and we'll see how he compares to a player that has been around in recent years, a player that has been active and competitive in recent years and has risen to the top of Latino America. Nowadays, I would say that Mute is arguably top two Protoss in Latin America alongside Master, but we'll see how Sagan compares, because Sagan is a player that I have not casted in years. I think I checked our YouTube channel, and last time we casted Sagan was like back in 2021. It's been a long time, but yo, shout out to those working behind the scenes on LATAM as well, on the LATAM League. Again, shout out to Infernales Esports for hosting the event, funding the event. Shout out to Crown and Enki for organizing the event as well, for making the event a reality, as Sagan does opt to hide his second pylon. So, to get open out of Sagan, to get open out of Mute, but the second pylon should be hidden here from Mute's eyes, as we are looking for that pylon, looking for the proxy, and there it is. The proxy has been thrown down, and Mute is now aware that the pylon is missing. Is it real? Is it fake? Are we actually going for an all-in, or are we not? We can see that it should be a fake. Oh, never mind. I was going to say a fake out, but the probe does stick around. There we go. Does pull back. And again, it's going to be on Mute to figure out what exactly is happening. Back across the map, Mute does go for his own second pylon in the main, but Sagan doesn't even scout doesn't even care. For all he knows, he could be being all in as well. So Sagan is playing blind, and Mute is trying to piece together what exactly is going on. So probe does move in. Against Sagan, he does avoid that scouting probe. Does dip back to expand, and Mute is searching for the proxy. So we can see Mute moving down here towards the southern half of the map, searching for any proxy Stargate or proxy Robo. And he should be scouting here with the initial Stalker as well, and eventually he'll piece it all together. Ooh, but a big reaction here goes to the Robo on one base. Yeah, big reaction here from Mute, preparing for an all-in. Now, what I will say, this Robo opener here on one base is perfect against something like a proxy Robo or a 4-gate one base all-in, but against a more economic start, this is where Mute is going to start to fall behind, but he can turn this into an all-in himself. Can do so. Hallucination does dive. Hallucination confirms a pylon, confirms a probe as well, and more or less Mute. Yeah, there we go. He does confirm the expansion. Now he's aware that there is no all-in, that there is no proxy, that he has been duped. And the question becomes, does he expand from here, or does he respond with a third gateway? He expands. Okay, he does expand. So he's not going to turn this into one base all in. He does not go for a gateway explosion himself. He's going for a bit of a safer start here. This does mean that he's going to be slightly Oh my, never mind. Wait, whoa, wait. We cancel the expansion, going for 2 more gateways. It's going to be a delayed one base all in. Okay, Sagan. Yo, he has been cooking. Okay. let him cook, Papi. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, so we cancel the expansion. We turn this into an actual one base all in. Now we do have another hallucination moving out. He does find the fake proxy pylon, but it's going to be on Sagan to deny the scouts. Never mind, he's just rushing. He's just rushing across the map. At this point, he does not care. Not anymore. Back at home. Now, what's important here is that Mute still has that Robo. He still can make a defensive immortal, but he doesn't make one. He's making a prism instead, as he's getting ready to harass, not to defend. No shield battery either, but there are plenty of force fields. Plenty of stalkers as well. Sagan does move in. Oh, poking forward. Oh my god, brutal force fields here. Locking down one, locking down 2 of those stalkers. We can see Sagan trying to buy time, trying to drag the army in towards the main base. He's going for his own proxy. How many gateways do we have? We have 4 at home and a 5th gateway across the map. Sorry, proxy 5 gate, 1 base all in. Stalker somehow does survive, just briefly. Ooh, and does force through the ramp, but this prism. Yeah, there's a prism here. Can juggle over the wall. Diving in the army. Prism takes a lot of hits, though. Does take a lot of damage, but it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. It's just going to be going down. The force field does not matter. And Mute, he can just break out. He can break out. He can fight this head on. Ay. Ooh, I say that, bit of miscontrol. One of the stalkers does fall. Yeah, it's going to be a clutch fight here, but the Prism is here to juggle back. Oh, it does save a unit. Does hang some shots. And with that, Sagan is forced back. And from here, Sagan, he's just down in Stalkers, even on sentries. Is going to be reinforcing on the front lines, but the Immortal has arrived, and with the help of the Immortal, Mute holds. Mute holds, he shuts down the all-in. It was a crazy build, I will say that. But unfortunately, remember, Mute did open Robo, right? That's the problem here. He already opened Robo, so he already had the Prism, and of course, was putting Sagan on a timer with that Immortal. Again, this is a very safe way to open up. GG gets called, and Mute will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Against Sagan, he's one of those players, well, I should say that build was beautiful. I loved how it was executed. The problem, though, with that was that Mute, remember, he already responded with a really strong response with a Robo on one base. And sure, he scouted an expansion, so he expanded himself, but he already had that Robo. He already had that defensive tech structure, which allowed him to actually make that Prism, to actually make that Immortal, to actually have those defensive units. It did mean that Sagan was on a timer with the effectiveness of his all-in. Unfortunately, we saw that, again, Mute was able to get his Prism out, able to react in time, and eventually shut it down. Even without a War Prism, even without that shield battery on the low ground, was still able to overwhelm. GG, well played. That was a crazy build though out of Sagan. Like, I appreciate the build overall. GG, well played. With that leads us into game number 2. We'll see if Sagan can bounce back. We'll see if Mute can extend his lead. As up next, we're leading into Maganatha. Let's go. Big go. Oh, yo, I see Davito in the chat. My homie Mute, my other homie Sagan. Difficult to decide who to cheer for. Think gonna cheer for who does the best meme. Este Davito. Ay. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Magnatha, we have our Chilean Protoss player, we have our purple Protoss, representing Team Gosu. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back again into the 7. Plenty of games ahead of us. It is Sagan. Mi tapo. Sporting in the top left hand corner. We have the Peruvian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Bing Bong Exports. Leading the series 1-0. It is Mute. But here we go. Once again, Sagan does move out with his probe, but now the question becomes, this time, is it a real proxy? Is it going to be a real faster initial one base all-in or another fake out? But again, the mind games are going to be real. Probe, it does fan out towards left-hand side. And this time does set up here on Mute's half of the map. Mute dipping in. With this scout, he will confirm that the pylon's going to be missing. Pylon not where it should be. This wouldn't be the worst location for a proxy Stargate if you wanted to go for a longer macro game and try to cripple the economy early on. Otherwise, this also wouldn't be a bad location for a proxy robo either. Keep an eye on Sagan. Go. Here we go. Yep, there's our pylon. Pylon is slowing down. This time Sagani does stick around. Yeah, sticks around, waiting for the Cybercore to complete. Cybercore is still on the way. That's a Fire Force reference. I have no idea what that is. Fire Force, is that the firefighter anime? Sounds about right. As here we go, the pylon has been thrown down. And the probe does not commit to a proxy. Not again. So once again, there is no proxy. I would just see, oh, this time Mute, he will scout. Oh my god, almost immediately. Barely doesn't quite get eyes on the pylon. So Mute is still in the dark. Once again, though, we do expect to see another Robo Opener. Yep, there we go. Robo Opener out of Mute. The same build, the same response as game number 1. Doesn't go for the Robo. This time Sagan will expand, but is it real or is it fake? Here we go. As here we go, we do have the Hallucination Scouts. Does get eyes on the Robo once again. So again, the same build here by Mute 2 games in a row. Sagan, he this time is gonna let it finish. This time. we should allow the base to finish. No crazy cancellation. We can settle it. We can settle in from here. We have a take of choice. Going to be a Twilight Council opener here by Sagan. Now, bearing in mind, because of the initial expansion here, Mute is going to have a later expansion, so Sagan does have the greater economy. Meanwhile, Mute will have a safer response here, opening up with the Observer, then can go into Prism, can start up early Immortal production. We'll see if he commits into Immortals. We'll see how far he delays his Twilight Council as well. And now we can settle in. Welcome one and all to Magnatha. Magnatha is the largest map in the map pool, longest rush distance by ground. We do expect longer and later games on this map. Didn't say that initially just because, you know, we could have still gone for another attempted cheese, another attempted proxy, but not this time. Not this time. We can calm down, back. We can calm down. Hallucination confirms, of course, Blink. Does get eyes on a third gateway. Interesting. So faster third gateway here by Sagan. Meanwhile, Observer into the Prism, which means Mute can now be aggressive across the map. With this, he can warp in at depths. He can try to dip into the main base. He can try to get economic damage done. He can try to source some pressure here to Sagan, and he has to. Remember, Mute is slightly behind economically. I say slightly, he's down by 3 probes, and he's still not mining. Yeah, still long distance mining here from his own natural base, so damage needs to be done for Mute. Oh, hello. That is cheeky, Bobby. Warping in, not at depths like I assumed. Speaking of depths, okay, Hallucination does get into the main. Warps in sentries. He's looking for the force field on the ramp. No recall. There's no recall in the main base, so this army, this Prism can head straight into the mineral line and straight for the ramp, can force field, can try to warp in and try to go for the pylon. Otherwise, we could try to go for the mineral line instead. We'll see Mute what he goes for. The Prism, it does avoid the Stalkers. Yeah, Prism does avoid, dives into the mineral line, and instead he can force field the mineral line. Oh my god, locks down 5 probes. Does try to look them down here. We do get 7, 8, 9. Oh my god, 9 probe kills. 10. 10 probes do go down. Brutal economic damage here. Sagan racing back home at the same time. Adepts into the mineral line. 13 probes go down. Adepts, they get the hell out of there. And from here, Mute should be able to escape, even sniping a pylon. Snipes the pylon, does pull away. Oh no! Oh, the prism will barely escape. And again, Sagan, unfortunately, just out on the map. And we're not done! Nah, we're not done. Mute goes back into the mineral line. 14, 15, 16 more. Oh god, 16 more probes going to be going down. And that is critical damage. 17 workers. That's an entire mineral line. Ay, ay, ay. Behind the Sagan, he was taking a third base, but the third doesn't matter. Not anymore. It's a faster third, but you know what? The army's not done. He's going back in. Not again. The force fields. He's locking him down. Oh my god. Getting 3. Catching out 3 more probes. Oh, getting 1. Getting 1 extra. 19 in total. 19 workers do go down. Ah. Not like this. It's the anime. Oh, you're an animal, Pecoeta. You're an animal. Ay, ay, ay. It's time to duel. As from here, Mute has a massive lead. Mute has a massive advantage, a massive lead here. Sagan down to 33 workers, 34 even, down over 10 probes. And from here, Mute can just extend his lead. Extend his lead is working on +1, working on his own Twilight Council. We may even see Mute skip Blink, and he may even just go straight into charge. Like, that would make the most sense here, going straight into charge, or even going into Glaives for an all-in. Never mind, Blink is on the way, so Mute playing a little bit more standard. Looks like Mute from here is going to saturate, going to build up on 3 bases, maintain his lead, and extend that lead. Meanwhile, the pressure's now on Sagan. Now, can you recover from this? It's difficult. It is possible with what? Dark Templar. Would you see Prism into the main base, Adepts into the mineral lines? Blink Stalker's trying to bypass the main army. There are ways to try to be active and get some damage done. Bearing in mind that Sagan has Blink and Mute doesn't, so Sagan does have the more maneuverable, the more versatile army. He can be more active, but as I say that, Mute is pushing. Mute is pushing out. He's got 3 immortals again due to that robo opener. He has a massive immortal lead. May not have Blink, may not have that micro potential, but still has a terrifying army. Stalkers, they pick forward. They cannot fight this head on. Ideally, they want to try to backstab and snipe the prison, but GG gets called. He sees the main army, and Mute will take game number 2 and extend his lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Does extend his lead in the series here, and again, it has been a bit of a rougher start here for Sagan. I appreciate how he has been having some more spicy builds and some more spicy openers, but yo, Mute's not taking this lying down. Again, going for the massive sentry drop into the main. We have seen it before by herO. He's done that before. I want to say a couple of weeks ago in some of the open cups, where herO does go for this sentry drop into the mineral line to not to force field the ramp, but to force field the workers to lock him in and to shut them down. So slick moves there by Mute. Again, a bit of a niche style and a niche follow-up, but yeah, did catch Sagan off guard. Unfortunately, Sagan was on the map. Remember, his stalkers, they were out on the map. He was completely out of position. Took him a long time to race back home, and by the time he did, 19 probe kills. 19 probe kills, and with that, we're now getting into our next game, and we'll see if we can begin that comeback. The pressure is on. Pressure is on, and here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner here of Ultra Love, we have the Chilean Protoss player. We have the purple Protoss down in the series, and we'll see if he can begin that comeback. Representing Team Gosu, it is Sagan. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, the proven Protoss representing Ping Pong Exports. Leading the series 2-0, it is Mute. Just catching up with the chat. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Luciano, papi. Oh my god, Luciano. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yo, we're cannon rush. Let's go. Forge gets thrown down. Sagan opening up with a cannon rush. Second probe is being sent out across the map, and we'll see if we can get into the main base. We'll see how we set up. Pylon gets thrown down on the low ground, and so far Mute has no idea. Yeah, Mute, he's going for his own economic opener. Gate into expand, or gate into cybercore into expansion. Pylon has been placed, and Mute sees nothing. Oh boy. That's actually, oh no. As we do have the probe coming in, cannons are going to be thrown down, and from here we can try to head into the main. Oh, there we go. We do have the cannon rush here behind the mineral line. Oh, is behind the mineral line. No cannons here on the low ground. Yeah, probe does go down. Ooh, the probe does fall. Cannon on the low ground. And then there's only 3 pylons. Only 3 pylons here from Sagan. Oof, he got shut down ahead of time. Muti's on patrol. I mean, the cannon rush is at least commencing here on the low ground. Oh. Setting up in the main. Does have that pylon. Probe moving in. Can we get some cannons? Oh, oh. And not quite. Zealot has arrived. And so where are we headed? Okay, can't quite engage here thanks to the cannon. I think he can attack this. Yeah, he can attack. I say that the cannon does complete. Zealot's being zoned away. Oh. And can we get this up and running again? Behind this is no other unit here. Cybercore does complete. Now we can start the Adept or even Stalker production. Adept across the map. Okay. that's kind of crazy. Adept across the map instead. But the cannon rush, he's not solving, like, okay, so the problem here, typically we go for a Stalker, we go for the Stalker, and then you can start to stop those cannons from actually encroaching on the bases. Instead, Ninja Base out of Mute. He's gonna abandon his main. Now, the goal here should be recall. It should be to recall and to save all these workers, to save as many as he can. Is this too late, though? Throwing down his own gateway. Okay, we have to get behind that mineral line. Yeah, so far the probes are still not under fire. Cannons on the way. Back at home defensive cannon. Depth does shade in. Depth shading into the main. Gets a probe. Gets a probe. The base is under fire. The cannon is a little bit late. 2 probes going to be going down. 3 probes. 3 probes to fall. And the Nexus is about to complete. Again, we're getting ready for the recall. There we go. The boys are pulled away. And now Mute can just recall to safety. He can just evacuate. Oh. And there it is. There it is. Does have the energy. Stacks his units. Waiting for the recall. And there it is. It does recall away. Recall's top left. And now suddenly all these cannons, this entire commitment, this entire cannon line, it's not really achieving too much here. Now we have a full mining base. At the same time, I will say the Sagan, he's getting his gateway, getting his cyber core. He's still down in workers though. These depths are brutal. And again, Mute, he wasn't able to save his main base, but he is wreaking havoc here. Yeah, 2 probes going down, 3 probes going down. 4 probe kills. Oh god. And if they just keep on going, this gateway, it remained powered. Just continue to just rally across the map. And again, Mute has a full mining base. I can't say the same for Sagan. Oh, gets behind the mineral line once again. 6, 7 more probe kills. 8! No. Thankfully not 9. Sagan down to 15 probes. And again, the cannon rush was somewhat successful, but not really. Did fall behind. Again, just a really good reaction out of Mute to just rush across the map, set up the ninja base, evacuate. And Sagan just cannot keep up. Not anymore. Not like this. Now, obviously he knows that there was a recall. He knows that there's a base somewhere on the map. He is searching. Searching for the expansion. We'll check top left. Yeah, but GG. GG gets called. And Mute, he will extend his lead even further here. Takes a 3-0 lead. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a really solid response here to the initially not scouted cannon rush. If you recall, Sagan, he was able to get that pylon up and running, but alas, he wasn't able to cannon rush in the mineral line. Remember, he initially threw down 3 pylons behind the main base mineral line, but the probe got surrounded, the probe got shut down, and because he didn't start laying siege upon that mineral line sooner, his opponent has just so much time. Like, Mute had so much time to mine, to get the ninja base, to respond, to get out as well. Time was of the essence, and in the end, Sagan, he failed to get those cannons in that mineral line in time. GG. GG, well played with that. Mute will shut him down, and now Mute is on match point. He's on match point here, 1 more win, and he will claim the series. The pressure is on Sagan. He has to fight back here and now to have a chance here to bring it back and to claim the series himself. Let's go. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal. It's been a fast series. It's been a fast series so far, Pap. Yeah. Will we ever saturate our natural base? Will it happen? Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the red Protoss player, the proven Protoss representing Ping Pong Exports. It is Mute. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Chilean Protoss player, the purple Protoss representing Team Gosu. It is Sagan. We go. Now, technically, we saturated our natural bases on Maganatha. True, that we kind of did. I say kind of just because, if you recall, before we could actually get to full 2-base saturation, Sagan did lose his mineral line. So, almost got there. Almost. But we'll see how our players will approach our next game. This time, no Forge. This time, there's no Forge. There's no attempted cannon rush. Gases are being taken. This time, we're going for a more standard opener. Okay, 2-gate opening here by Sagan. Oh, hello. As Mute is being greedy, Gate Cyber Expand, economic opener here out of our red Protoss. Okay, so for the first time this series, I mean, technically we kind of saw it last game on Ultra Love, but it's a little bit more legal on Ultra Love. Here we are cutting corners. We're cutting corners. Gate Cyber Expand here by Mute, going for a bit of a max packs opener instead. With this, we can go for a Stargate before Nexus to be a little bit safer, but overall an economic build out of Mute. Meanwhile, we do have instead Sagan, no proxy. No proxy, second pylon in the main base, and Mute should be feeling secure. Upon seeing the second pylon, he can go for the Nexus. He doesn't need the Stargate. He can just go straight for the expansion instead and be a little bit greedier, and there we go. The probe is moving down to expand. There it is. Does cancel the unit. There's the expansion. So hyper greed here from Mute. Again, even MaxPax doesn't do this, but upon confirming the second pylon, he knows that he's safe. On top of that, Sagan doesn't probe scout. If he was probe scouting, if he was checking the opener, checking the expansions, then Sagan could respond with a proxy pylon with a 1-base all-in to try to punish the greed, but he doesn't know. Like Sagan, he does not know, he's not aware, so he's not able to react or to respond with aggression.
I am here in the shadows.
So I would say this is a stronger start for Mute, much stronger here. Getting a safety shield battery, moving out with hallucination. Hello. As Sagan does move out across the map. He can still turn this into an all-in, but okay, there's the expansion. There's the Nexus. Stargate, sorry, the hallucination dips in. It is going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Sagan. Now, a couple of things here. Twilight Council opener before the expand. It looks pretty standard here, but with a proxy pylon, if we throw it out, no, never mind. If there was going to be a proxy pylon, I would be like, yo, we could go into DTs. This could be a Dark Shrine, but alas, there's no pylon out on the map. We are, in fact, investing into Blink. Looks like more of a standard opener here. Obviously, faster Blink than Expand, but still Expand. Sagan scouting across the map for the first time. We'll get eyes on the gateways. We'll get eyes on just how fast that natural base is. It's already getting saturated. Now he knows. Yeah, now he sees saturation. Now he knows how greedy Mute has been. But can Sagan do anything about that greed? There's a pylon. Pylon has been placed. Robo's already on the way for Mute. And how many gates? So far 2. Getting up to 3. 3 gates set up. We may just go for a 4th and 5th gateway. Oh. Yeah, there it is. Extra gateway is going to be on the way. So we're going into at least a 4 gates blink out of Sagan. And remember, he saw how greedy Mute has been. Mute, he is ahead here in the economy, ahead in workers. And it's going to be on Sagan to try to punish that greed. It's going to be later than we would have liked, but can still punish. Sagan is setting up. Do we go for a 5th gateway? We may. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so it's going to be a 2-base, 5-gate all-in. I say 2-base. We're somewhat getting saturated here at the natural. Rallying everything across the map. Mute is setting up. Mute, he is yet to confirm. He hasn't seen the gateway explosion, hasn't seen the proxy, hasn't seen the extra gateway. He's still playing safe. Does have the observer. And here comes Sagan. Checking the unit tab here. Sagan, he does have that Stalker lead. Hallucination does spot the army, he knows. Yeah, sees the army. He knows, ideally, more shield batteries. More shield batteries here, more of a defensive setup. Sagan going for the main. It does head into the main base. Mutes, good read. Does rotate over. And is in position. So far, so good. Zones back the army. Takes down the Stalker. Nice pickup. Like with Sagan rotating over towards the low ground. Takes down the shield battery. Oh, at least trying to. Mutes, he's having a hard time rotating. The shield battery goes down. And we spoke about it earlier. Once we saw the all-in, we do need extra shield batteries here. First one does fall. 0 shield batteries left. Sagan pulling away. Does pull away. Mutes trying to keep up. Oh. Surprise zoning. Nice catch on the sentry. Sentry goes down. Meanwhile, big shout to Jan Wolf in the chat. Gracias. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 6 months, for half a year of support. Thank you, Papi. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Hope you've had a great day, great start of your weekend. And bienvenidos here to the finals of the LATAM League. As Sagan, he backs off. He recognizes he cannot break Mute, and he expands. Okay. You have my attention. This entire time, Sagan's been making probes, taking gases, taking another expansion, charge on the way, Robo, and a Fortress +1. And now suddenly the turns the table. Now suddenly Mute, he's committed. Mute, he went up to 6 gates. Okay, so it's 6 gate setup. Takes down the proxy. Sagan coming in from behind. Is spotted by the observer. Mute, he doesn't respond to this. Back at home, he's exposed. Yeah, Stalker's going to be going down. There's that recall. Does recall back, has the immortal, he should be able to hold on. As Sagan doesn't get too much here. Get the pylon, pulls away, supply blocks Mute, not bad. And Sagan slowly getting ahead. His third base now getting saturated. Getting saturated, getting his own immortals behind this. Mute still supply block, 4 pylons on the way. That's a lot of pylons. It's a big delay. And here he comes. Remember, no expand. There's no third base, not yet. Just now throwing it down. But Mute is committed. He has 1 immortal. He's going for the Dark Shrine as well. Mute getting desperate. Charges are done. Prism up. Oh my god, it does go down. Whew. Just barely. Prism goes out, but Mute, he does have the immortal. He might still just have too much. Yeah, no shield batteries. No shield batteries. No defensive setup. Mute, he is committed, but the immortal's doing so much in the back line, catching up some of those stalkers. Oh, brutal blink. And Sagan bleeds out too much. And again, no shield batteries. Neither the third or the natural. And GG gets called. He cannot hold on. He cannot survive. And Mute, he will take it. He will take the series 4-0. GG. GG, well played. Does it claim the series here? Again, Mute, he was going for some nice moves here where he was able to double back away from the all-in, able to expand, able to take up, but he wasn't ready for the counterattack. He basically forced Mute all-in, right? He forced Mute into an all-in. Mute, he threw down extra gateways. Mute, he just doubled down. He committed then and there. He was supply blocked, like he was being slowed down. Things are looking better there for Sagan than we've seen in other games. But he just wasn't ready for it. He just wasn't ready for that all-in. Wasn't ready for Mute to commit that hard. And you could argue that maybe he was taking up too much, right? He was working towards upgrades, working and building up his economy. Whereas what did we need there? More of a defensive setup. Whether it's shield batteries, whether it's extra warp ins, extra gateways, more army. GG. GG, well played. With that, Mute, he will claim the series. Again, I was hoping for a little bit more of a back and forth in this best of 7. I mean, best of 7, we did have at least 4 games, and we did have a spicy series nonetheless. A shorter one, 100%. We had cannon rushes, we had fake all-ins, we had real all-ins, we had some crazy builds out of Sagan. It does feel like he did come in prepared, definitely, with specialized builds, I should say, but Mute, he was just very solid. He was very solid in his responses, in his defenses, against the cannon rush, against the attempted or even faked out all-ins. Mute was very solid, and here showcasing why he is one of the best in Latino America. is one of the best here. Again, Mute, he's a bit of a newer face to the region, newer face to the scene. He returned to competitive play, I want to say like last year, like start of 2024, and he's very quickly risen through the ranks here. And we also saw that during the HSL, right? I want to say that Mute, he got top 4, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think he got top 4 in HSL in the Hispanic StarCraft League a couple of months ago, and even here, getting number 1 in the LATAM League. GG. GG, well played, congratulations. Again, we can just catch up on the bracket itself here. Mute not dropping a single map, 2-0 over Darker Named, 3-0 over Eon, and 4-0 over Sagan. Strong performance here from Mute. When it comes to HSL, again, Mute, I believe he was knocked out by Special? Was it Juanito or was it Cham? I think it was Juanito. Yeah, we had, of course, that's where we had some of the other bigger names, of course, in the HSL, and this bodes well. This does bode well here for Mute when it comes to the next season. I don't think we have any confirmation here, but the next season of the Hispanic StarCraft League, I believe they plan on hosting it like around October, November, like towards the end of the year. I do know that there's a lot of interest amongst the Hispanic community about running another event like that, and that is where events like this, like the LATAM League, are going to be important when it comes to keeping players in form, keeping players in shape to make sure that they're actually, you know, actually looking in good form for the HSL. The reason why I bring this up is because a lot of these players are returning players. A lot of these guys, you know, they ladder every now and then. A lot of them retired or stepped away from the game for a long time as well, only recently coming back. I do recall that was the big story for HSL. It was almost all the LATAM players. It's like, oh, he's been gone for like 3 years. It's like he hasn't really competed in a while, but he's back. And because they only came back for HSL, like they had very limited time returning to the game, it's important to have events like this to actually, you know, to actually have players, or give players a reason to maintain and to improve as well. To improve. GG, well played. It does, a bracket like this reminds me of back in the day, like Sentimiento Latino, Copa Hyperion, back in the day when we used to have more regular Latin American tournaments. Or even events like from La Espida as well. It's been a while. But yeah, it does feel good again. Does feel good. Feel good. When it comes to the event itself, again, it was an entertaining finals. I'm still thinking about some of the quarterfinals matches. I'll be honest, like Sagan versus Luciano and Password versus Ducklings were some of the hypest matches of the tournament. So if you missed out on the VODs, if you missed out on the quarterfinals, I do recommend those quarterfinals matches. Those are spicy. they were crazy games, and again, they still stand out in my mind as well. So I do recommend checking out some of those VODs. And again, congratulations here to Mute for becoming our first LATAM League champion. Potentially the first of many. We'll see. We shall see what happens with future LATAM Leagues and with future events for Latino America. GG. GG. Mute's like 6K. I mean, again, like the players here, you know, they were invited, of course, into said event. And hopefully, again, this gives more reason for some of these other players to, again, look to improve, look to compete again. Like, a lot of these players in their heyday, I would say, were comparable, if not greater than what Mute is now. But, again, it's been a while since they've been, you know, playing or have been dedicating as much time as they once did. Oh. Yes, GG. GG, well played nonetheless. As with that, Mute will be our champion. But this is not our only cast of the day. Again, a bit of a shorter finals, I should say. But we have another match ready for us here. A little bit less related to the LATAM League, but we're going to be going on a short break. And again, congratulations to Mute, of course. A shout out to Infernales Esports, a shout out to Crown for organizing and for adminning the event, a shout out to Enki as well for also helping out when it comes to the organizational side of things as well. So big shout out to Enki, big shout out to Crown, and I look forward to seeing more events in the future. Fingers crossed regarding the LATAM region. We're going to be going on a short break here, and when we come back, we have a show match. We have a show match between Scarlett and herO. We've been holding on to this show match for quite some time. Again, we've just been so busy casting non-stop StarCraft, but because it was only going to be one best of 7 here tonight, I did get ready here for another, and it is going to be herO versus Scarlett, but there's a bit of a twist. It's going to be herO versus Scarlett in an off-race show match. Oh boy. Let's go. Now, we have casted herO play Terran before. He's done so a couple of times, actually. So herO's Terran is decently formidable. I know that it's at least 6k. Like, herO's Terran is at least 6k. Likewise, Scarlett, renowned for her Protoss as well. She was one of the original pro gamers that did off-race in competitive play. That was back, that was back in MLG. That was back in MLG when she did off-race and play Protoss against Dongray-gu. Infamously so, the Queen of Psyblades. Crazy performance and crazy series from way back in the day. So we are going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we're going to have an off-race best of 7 between Scarlett and herO. Oh boy, the memes continue, Pappy. The memes continue. It's going to be crazy. But yes, we're going to be going on a short break. We'll see you guys soon as we do set up. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. We just wrapped up with the LATAM League finals with our initial best of 7. And again, a big shout out and congratulations to Mute for becoming our first LATAM League champion. But now we have returned. We returned with something a little bit different, something a little bit special. We returned with the LiuLi Cup 40 best of 7 show match. Here we go, another best of 7. This is an invitational show match here. LiuLi Cup, they are a semi-regular tournament organized by LiuLi, aka Saber. He does create these invitationals on a semi-regular basis, and sometimes, you know, they're like an 8-player bracket single elimination, sometimes they're a 4-player round-robin group stage, sometimes 4-player GSL group, sometimes just an invitational like this, just a best of 7. But there's a bit of a twist here. As you can see, the races are different. As you can see just below me here, Scarlett is not playing Zerg, herO is not playing Protoss. Instead, we have an off-race show match. Now again, we have casted herO's Terran before. herO's Terran is around 6k or just above 6k on the Korean ladder. When it comes to Scarlett, she was the OG race switcher. Before Clem played Protoss, before Raynor played Protoss, before it was cool to off-race his Protoss at the pro level, Scarlett did so first. Many years ago, back in Heart of the Swarm, Scarlett did switch to Protoss back against DRG and did all in the hell out of him, and did win that series as well. It was a crazy match for sure. So Scarlett, she has her own history of racing and playing Protoss against Zerg at least, but how is her off race in general? And of course, it's many years later, it's been a while since she has competed with her off race. How does she compare to herO? Oh boy. We're about to find out. We're about to find out as we are going to be jumping into our first game. Again, as a reminder, it's going to be a best of 7, and game 1 is going to be on torches. Let's go. Let us go. And again, shout out to LiuLi, shout out to Saber for, of course, organizing, for hosting the event. Again, we have covered LiuLi Cups in the past. Typically, we cover them live, but unfortunately for this event, it was actually clashing with another tournament. At the times, we were covering other games, as typically it is here on the CranKy Ducklings. There's just so much StarCraft going on. We're live twice a day, almost every single day. Despite that, there's still even more that we're asked to cast and asked to cover live that we just cannot, because our schedule is just so stacked and so full. There's just too much StarCraft going on, so we're here to catch up. We're here to catch up on some of those matches, and here we go. Spawning in the right hand corner of torches, we have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, typically Protoss, but off racing as Terran, representing Twisted Minds. It is herO. Here we go. And again, when it comes to herO's off-race, if I recall correctly, we did cast his off-race against Dark in the past, and we've casted his off-race, I want to say, in the early rounds of KSL. Like, he's dabbled in some off-race here and there. So here he has spiced things up in the past, but again, it's been a while, so we'll see how he compares. We'll see how he compares here to Scarlett as we jump into... Oh, right, I remember. He off-raced against MaxPax. Yes, it was ESL Open Cup Asia at the end of last year. Before the off-season, here, it was in the finals of ESL Asia. Finals of ESL Americas. And he did play Terran against MaxPax. True. I recall that as well. So again, here he's competed as Terran a couple of times at this level of play. I remember he played Terran, and I think he tried to proxy Marauder MaxPax one game, and then threw X-Stimul in him another game. But very aggressive builds against MaxPax. Double gas. Speaking of aggressive builds, yeah, double gas open, double gas here out of herO, going for the faster factory. This is, yeah, lining up with what we've seen before from herO against MaxPax. And this can lead into Reactor Reaper Hellion, can lead into early Cyclone, early Tank Drop. We do expect something more committed here from herO. That's a probe is shut down. Scarlett does lead Scout. She does confirm the initial double gas opener out of her opponent, so she knows that it's going to be something more tech heavy. And we'll see where Scarlett takes us as well. And of course, welcome on all to Torches. Torches is one of the... Oh, I have to get... This is not the LATAM League. But Torches is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored. Cheese's aggression is favored here on Torches as well. And is going for the Stargate opener. Ooh, this is risky. This is a risky start here from Scarlett. Now, there's a bit of a give and take here. The rush distance by air is very short on this map, so going into an Oracle or going into Phoenixes and rushing across the map to get some damage done, it makes sense on the one hand. On the other hand, it won't help too much if herO turns this into a 2-base all-in. As we can see, initially, no tech lab. Okay, so reactor marine into Widowmine drop, most likely followed by something more tech heavy, but we're going for a drop play initially. This is ideal for Scarlett. If herO was rushing into an early Cyclone, then Scarlett would be in trouble, but that's not what's happening here. So Scarlett does gamble and gambles well. Likewise, another reason why you can try to get away with this here, as you can see, herO can't scout. Here on Torches, there's no Reaper Cliff into the main, like there usually is on standard maps. Here, there's only an entrance into the natural, then into the main base. And you can see Scarlett is well prepared for the Reaper. Scarlett does deny the scout, and herO doesn't know what's going on. And here comes the first Phoenix. Ooh, Reaper tries to dive in, is shut down. And likewise, Scarlett does come across with a Mind Drop. Again, the stars do align. Mind Drop is denied. Scarlett does run away. That's herO. As he does pull back. Still trying to get across the map with that medevac. Scarlett on patrol. And herO backs off. Here he pulls away, backs off, saves the medevac at least, using those Widowmines to just zone away those Phoenixes. And now herO knows. Now hero's at least aware. From here, herO now switching into Cyclone production, switching into a more anti-air. Ideally, these Phoenixes want to shut down the medevac, but they fail to. They did deter the drop, but they haven't gotten any value yet. Haven't gotten any damage done. Does it the natural. Gets a couple of SCVs. Scarlett has to be worried about these Widowmines. Has to be careful they don't reposition. She has to be worried about her rally. Does pull back around. Behind this, going for extra gateways. Going into a 3-gate setup here before expanding. Playing safe. And herO, 3rd CC. That I was not expecting. Again, historically, whenever we cast herO play Terran, he's usually hyper aggressive. But here, from the additional double gas opener into a 3rd CC, partly I would imagine because of the Phoenixes. Like, Scarlett has gotten away with massing up Phoenixes. So herO is contained, and herO just forced to expand. Okay, we have a game. We have a game, and from here, Scarlett allowed to go into Phoenix Colossus, a very old school style, a very old school composition. This tells us a couple of things. Scarlett, ooh, is going to be zoned away. But going Phoenix Colossus, this is very out of meta. I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've seen this before, and because of this, I mentioned earlier how I was curious to see if Scarlett's, like, how informed she was when it comes to her Protoss, how much has she played, like what to expect. This tells us it's been a while. Like, again, this is not seen currently anymore, just because of how aggressive Terrans have been in recent months, in the past like 6 to 8 months at this point. Like, it is so risky nowadays going Phoenix Colossus. And this was very meta a couple of years ago. Well, just last year. So I'm curious to see if Scarlett does more of this throughout the course of this series, which would tell us it's been a while. Oh. Like, it's been a while since Scarlett has laddered or polished up her off race. As Raxes are being thrown down. herO soon to expand. Remember, he's already got the 3rd CC. What's important is that Scarlett did not scout. Lovely use of the healing pad, but did not scout at the expansion. Is not aware of how greedy or how economic herO is being. Back at home, massing out more Colossus. And Scarlett may find an opening. Ooh, doesn't quite catch the Cyclone. Tanks through siege. Interference matrix has been researched. Here he has disables. Against Phoenix Colossus, that's going to be ideal. This is also one of the reasons why Phoenix Colossus did kind of fall off. Like, disables from the Ravens, they just shut this down so hard. Phoenixes, they got eyes on the 3rd, not bad. Army gets spotted. SCV's going down. Here he doesn't break out yet, doesn't really have enough to work with here. He has to wait for Sim. Like, Stim is still on the way. Upgrades on the horizon. Fanning out, setting up here at his own third, and we're taking a slower approach. So you're just trying to stabilize here on 3 bases before breaking out. Scarlett, we'll see if she can break the third. Dipping on forward. Oh! Does dip in. Doesn't quite commit. Meanwhile, big shout out to Blarg in the chat. Baby God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing, for supporting for 10 months. Baby, 10 months. That's a lot of months. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Scarlett does rotate here out of position. There's a tank, but the tank's on its own. Tank gets lifted. Nice snipe here from Scarlett. But tank volley's on the production. Yeah, mine just going off as well. Brutal connections with the Phoenixes. Tank does survive. And here holds. Yeah, here he holds on. Does defend. Scarlett force back. Behind this, going into Sky Toss. Let's go. Fleet Beacon's on the way. Working towards Tempest, working towards Carrier. We'll see if she can get there. See if she can get there. Dipping forward. Can kind of push into the siege line. Has contained here, but was unable to stop here from getting a third. So his economy is still looking ideal. Still looking solid. Scarlett once again rotating towards the natural. Once again, here not quite in position. Oh, Marshall goes off. Takes out the Phoenix. 1 Phoenix left. Does get the lift. We can see the boys being pulled to repair. And here it does dive in. Here come the mass disables. Getting 1, 2, 3 disables off. Getting 4. Every Colossus does get disabled. With force fields are solid. Force fields, they do stop the dive. But Scarlett has to back off. Has to pull away. Disables are running out. Again, those were beautiful force fields. That was on Hero. Hero probably could have lifted up those Raxes to break through. But that does mean the Raven energy now non-existent. Hero down to 0 Ravens. The Ravens went down. No more disables. Scarlett can push in. Scarlett can break through. She can break through. Does need some reinforcements. Not many zealots left. Vikings still building up. Only 3 Vikings. Yo, do we only have 1 starport? Ooh. Yeah, only 1 starport. So limited Vikings here for Hero. Getting a 3rd CC. Scarlett just taking more bases. Taking more expansions. Once again, rotating over. Up to 5 5 Colossus. Plus 1 air attack is on the way. Fleet Beacon for now, just for the mothership. No Tempest yet. This is where I'm a little bit concerned about the commitment into Colossus. I mean, the Viking count is low enough where it's okay. Now we finally get the 2nd starport, but it's a late 2nd starport, late Ghost Academy as well, late tech out of Hero. Scarlett is maxed. Let's go. It's on over. Oh. Rotates towards the mineral line. Takes down the depots. We have a Dark Shrine on the way. Prism towards the main. Towards the natural. Now, what's scary here is that Scarlett has had a window of opportunity to try to break through, but she hasn't been able to break the 3rd base with a natural line. Like, the tank line has been solid, and now Hero takes the 4th. This is a big moment for Hero, and Hero's about to max out himself. Now, Hero's still lacking Ghosts and still lacking Vikings. Like, Hero's army is still a little bit lackluster. Is distracted. Oh, responding with everything. Uh-oh. Yeah, drags everything back. The CC is exposed. Hero will shut down the Prism, but is being pulled apart. A bit of an F2 there from Hero. CC goes down. Nice pickup. Zelsei busts into the bases, and Hero's being pulled apart. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, tanks are going down, getting 1, getting 2 tanks. Hero diving forward. I'll take down the Colossus. Not bad. Gets 3. Takes down 3 Colossus. But Zelsei takes down almost every single tank. Ay, ay, ay. 1 tank survives. And here, he bleeds out too much. He bleeds out too much. He lost the 4th CC. He's got to go. He's got to send it. It's all or nothing for Hero. Now, Scarlett did lose a lot of Colossus, and Scarlett, even though she has Storm, doesn't have any High Templar. No Eye Templar ready, which is concerning considering there's no ghost, right? There would have been no threat of EMP. Storm would be beautiful. Whether it's, oh, never mind, we just warped in. Okay, we just warped in High Templar. We do have one energy overcharge, so there's one Storm. The others are still gathering energy as we speak. They're gathering off that energy. We do need it. Vikings, they collapsed in. Colossus is going to be going down. Nice Storm. Storm zones away. But now there's no more Colossus. Hero busting through. Ooh, another Storm. And Storm's do zone. Disruptor is out. And Scarlett is holding. Remember, Hero's all in. Hero floats over the main. At the same time, warping into the natural. DT slips in as well. Hero racing back home. And Scarlett is doing it. Ah. The Protoss. That's good. Hero turning everything around. Trying to keep up. Scarlett, when it comes to her splash damage, is still a little bit lacking, but it does get a mineral line. Oof. 11, 12 SCVs going down. Brutal losses, never goes off. Oh my god, massive connection. Brutal connection there on Hero. Scarlett coming in from behind. Storms are ready. That's a lot of storms. Mothership has arrived. And Hero just being bullied back here. And Scarlett taking every base, taking every expansion. doing a Protoss subs best. Just mass expanding. Brutal storms here on the army. And here he's run out of steam. Hero definitely had a strong start here, settling up on 3 bases and getting a 4th, but it all turns south here with that prism in the main. Hero was pulled apart. GG gets called, and Scarlett will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Scarlett does take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense game 1 here. Hero was able to hold his own, was able to defend, was able to survive. Again, as we mentioned, both armies were maxed out as we were getting in towards a longer game, but that prism in the main base forced everything home for Hero. He responded with the entire army, and what that meant was that he exposed his own tanks and he exposed his own 4th base. And in the midst of all that chaos, almost every tank went down. I want to say like 5 tanks were killed by Zealots, and of course the 4th expansion was sniped by the Archons as well. So Hero was just torn apart. Again, just a really rough reaction to the prism in the main, and Scarlett did find an opening, did find a weak point. GG. GG, well played. With that, Scarlett does take a lead in the series, and now we're jumping into game number 2. Let's go. Jumping to game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Persephone. Let's go. Again, we'll see if Hero can bounce back. Now, as I mentioned at the start of game 1, I'm most curious and most interested in seeing whether or not Scarlett does once again go Phoenix Colossus. Like, it's a style that's very old school, it's very out of meta, currently considered very unsafe to go for. We saw it in game 1 on Torches, and in my mind that made sense just because of the short rush distance by ground. We'll see if we embrace that again. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the Canadian Protoss player. Typically Zurich, but now off racing as Protoss, representing Shopify Rebellion, leading the series 1-0. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the South Korean, typically Protoss, but now Terran player. Ooh, moving out with the SCV, representing Twisted Minds. It is herO. Let's go. The SCV does move out across the map. And again, as we mentioned, typically when we've casted a hero play Terran before, it's usually hyper aggressive, right? It's usually a little more intense than what we saw last time. Hero was more of a defender. Here does move in. From here, we can try to dip in and delay the expansion with an eBay block. But now it does keep the SCV hidden. Yep, does move in. So cheeky start here from Hero. With this, will force the unnatural natural out of Scarlett. Scarlett moves out, and oh god, I forgot to. God damn it. Scarlett does move out, and with that, Hero will get away with the block. Hold on, I'll see if I can get rid of the. Yeah. Okay, I remember after this game. After this game. But yeah, there's too much progression. Too much progression on the eBay, so Scarlett going to be forced to expand elsewhere. And we could see Hero double down with Hellion aggression to try to punish. We'll see. We'll see if he goes for a faster factory or a faster CC. The debug gets thrown down. The probe is going to be locked in. Scarlett making a Zealot. Ooh, looks like Scarlett wants to fight for the low ground, but there's too much progression. It's gonna take too long. Ay, a really rough start here for Scarlett, as she refuses to expand elsewhere. And herO, yeah, just gets a little bit more, just a little bit more progression, up to like 98%. Oh god. And it's gonna be a long time until Scarlett can expand. That Zeld has a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do here. For those that are curious, at the highest level of play, typically if the eBay goes unscattered and gets this much progression, this much HP, the Protoss player will just ignore it. Will just ignore this eBay and just expand elsewhere and not invest into this Zealot. The fact that we saw the Zealot means that Scarlett intends to break this down, which means just a heavy delay on the expansion. Once again, Stargate opener. Once again, Stargate, herO does scout. herO scouts, herO confirms. herO is aware. And herO should cancel in time. The SCV just tanking some shots. Will cause a delay, and there it is. Scarlett now expands elsewhere, but had to spend money on this Zealot. So late expansion, this could have been thrown down earlier. Zealot could have been skipped. So a shaky start for Scarlett. And behind this, what do we have? A CC on the low ground, and we have our 2-1-1 setup. I would imagine for a third Rax as well. So if we see a third Rax, this screams 2-base all in. And this would be a good way to punish Scarlett, just because her economy is delayed and she's opening Stargate as well, which is weak against all-ins. So our eyes are open, our eyes are peeled for a third Rax. Yep, there it is, third Rax. Third Rax is turned down, 2-base all-in. Now herO, he will have the option to pull the boys. Basically, the build that herO is going for is a really strong stim timing. We're going to go into Mass Marine. We should be going for an add-on swap here with this Tech Lab into early stim, into just a heavy push across the map. And again, can pull the boys with this. It's going to be on Scarlett to scout and to try to respond. As you mentioned though, like this Stargate is not going to help here in the defense. Or it's going to be difficult to actually make use of this defensively. Does dive in. Gets an SCV. Picks off some Marines, not bad. Not quite. Gets 2 workers, is going to be zoned away by the Cyclone. And Scarlett scout, she knows. She sees the setup, she sees how late the starport is, so Scarlett is aware of how aggressive herO is being. And the problem is, again, Blink is late. Because of the Stargate opener, the Twilight Council is delayed, Blink is delayed as well, the economy is delayed, the economy is also spread out, so herO, he can push in between the bases and pick between the natural and the third. It's going to be a more awkward defense. And here comes herO. Now, if you remember, I assume this is going to be a stim timing. He does an add-on swap. He's crazy. He's going for a tank-based all-in instead. Just rushing across the map as quickly as possible. So I assume this is going to hit later, and I think Scarlett assumes so as well. There's no shield battery. No shield battery, no defensive setup. This is not meant to be this early. There was meant to be an add-on swap, Abby. Okay. And here comes herO. And it's still working towards the eBay, it's still working towards the Tech Lab, it's still working towards that next phase. But this is more like a Byun timing. Like, Byun is so fond of these pushes where he moves out pre-stim. Blink is not done, bear that in mind. Stalker's getting picked off. I mean, again, herO, he knows that Scarlett is vulnerable because of the build, because of the opener. Tank goes off. Oh, God. Takes down a Stalker. Scarlett attempting this around. See herO reinforcing with a second tank. Second tank is on the way. Scarlett Blink is done. She can try to go for the dive, but now there's 2 tanks. And the second tank has arrived. Nice splits by herO. herO, he splits off. The Oracle can try to dive on the tank as well. And Scarlett is soon to go for it. Oh no! The Oracle, get out of here! Brutal lock-on. Brutal lock-on on the Oracle. Another lock-on as well. The base is under fire, and this expansion, it's gonna go down. Scarlett, she has to engage. Now there's a third tank! Scarlett trying to catch reinforcements, but this is late. And these are late catches from Scarlett, and the base falls. Scarlett down to a 1-base economy. Down to 1 expansion, back at home, herO setting up, is aware of the Stalkers coming his way. Has a tank, no bunker. Uh-oh. He's just going for the main. He's going for the main base. Up! Oh my god, nice stasis. Okay. Stasis goes up, buying some time. Scarlett, now's the time to dive in. Now we have to dive. The best moment, but tanks are how they do siege up. Scarlett racing back as herO does defend. And the stasis is about to run out. Scarlett has how many? 11 stalkers. 11 stalkers blinking into 3 tanks is not going to be easy. Oh god. Oh no. Scarlett taking another base. Trying to re-expand. Now going for the dive. Tank bullies again. Once again, they're just brutal here. They punish the stalkers. GG gets called, and herO does fight back. Does put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. herO does tie things up. Again, it was just a really shaky start from Scarlett. Winding it back, herO, he did open up with an eBay block, and Scarlett, it took her a very long time to decide to commit to taking the expansion at the 3rd location. Scarlett went for initially the Zealot, did delay the expansion quite heavily, and by the time she did go for the base, it was just so heavily delayed. herO did start things off with the lead. herO also got a free scout of the main base, saw the Stargate, and committed into a 2-base all-in. I'm surprised by how quickly it hit, just because herO hit before Stim, just a really early push with 1 and then a 2nd tank, and Scarlett was also caught off guard. As we mentioned, when you go for a Stargate opener like that, you do leave yourself vulnerable to these all-ins, and herO did take full advantage. And we'll see if Scarlett continues with the Stargate openers, or if we see something a little bit more standard here. We'll see. Up next, going to be loading into game number 3, and we'll see who takes the lead in the series, who does gain that momentum. Let's go, as we're jumping into ley lines. Here we go. Just catching up in the chat. Have I traveled into a parallel universe with Scarlett playing Protoss and herO's playing Terran? Oh no. Again, this is an off-race show match. Off-race best of 7. And we do have our back and forth here. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have her opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Twisted Minds. Fighting back, tying up the series, it is herO. We go. And again, if you haven't seen the herO and Scarlett off-race before, I do recommend checking out our VODs on the channel. herO, he has played Terran a couple of times in competitive play. Notoriously against Max in the ESL Open Cups. And I want to say, oh, who else? Against Dark, of course. Against Dark as well. And maybe against a couple of others. Likewise, of course, Scarlett also notorious for off-racing, at least back in the day. So I feel like it's a good pairing. But as I mentioned coming into this, I don't really know the current level of play that Scarlett is at when it comes to her Protoss. I know that herO is like just over 6k with this Terran. And Scarlett was able to hold her own on torches, 100%. Was able to hold her own. Here we go. As Scarlett does go for a more standard opener initially, just gate expand. Nothing crazy. Likewise, herO going for a single gas. Okay, so racks expand out of herO. Economic start. Let's go. For the first time, actually. For the first time this series, economic opener out of herO. Scarlett does confirm, and this time there's no crazy eBay block. This time Scarlett has a much more comfortable start. Ooh, but that's going to be a tech lab. Okay, herO opening up Concussive Shell Marauders. A cheeky start here by herO. So basically a couple of things. herO does open economically with a faster CC. That typically does cause a reaction. It does cause the Protoss to respond with Adept and Stalker Harass to try to punish and delay the command center. This is to counteract that kind of aggression going for Marauders, and the goal here is to catch and to punish and to shut down any initial early gateway aggression. Now Scarlett, unfortunately with that probe scout, did not go back up the ramp, is not aware of what's going on, is not aware that herO is trying to lay a trap. Ooh, but the Adept is cancelled, and we have a Stalker into a Robo. This, we don't see... actually, we see it every now and then. We see Robo Openers every now and then. A Robo Opener is very safe. What a Robo Opener does entail is it does give you access to early Immortal production. So early Immortals, if you're up against an all-in, it does give you access to early Prism for Prism Harass, for Adept Harass across the map. It also allows you to go into an early Bay, into early Colossus as well. This used to be very meta back in the day, a couple of years ago, back when 3-axes were common, back when 3-axes were plaguing the meta. Rushing into fast Colossus would shut it down. But because Scarlett cancelled her Adept, she's not really being too active here, and you can see herO trying to catch the initial unit, and Scarlett's just scouting. Scarlett doesn't move out, so herO trying to find any stray Stalker or Adept, so far has found nothing. But Scarlett doesn't really know what she's up against, and there's no safety shield battery. Uh-oh, no shield battery. No defensive setup. herO moving in. And does want that Stalker. Yeah, boys have to be pulled. Shield battery's on the way, and Scarlett will hold. Whew, okay, so a very intense early game here. Now, because of the opener, because of the Concussive Shell, it wasn't really worth it for herO. Ideally, again, as we mentioned, he wanted to catch the Adept or the Stalker, trying to harass, but there was no harassment. So after the openers, I would say that Scarlett is a bit ahead here. She's in a better position. Behind this, early Immortal production is on the way. Meanwhile, herO, do you see what I see? Second racks. Second racks, early stim. From here, if we throw down a third racks, 2 base all in. We're getting here similar to last game, except this time stim is a much faster. Remember, last game herO hit pre-stim, this time stim is on the way. Tank production as well, so a very aggressive follow-up here from herO, as herO does delay his starport in favor of stim and tanks. Meanwhile, Scarlett is somewhat aware. Okay, spots a tank. Spots the Mass Marauder as well. Immortal's going to be ideal, but I don't think Scarlett wants to engage ahead of time. Remember, Scarlett has no blink. Ooh, and Scarlett rushing into Colossus. This is not the play, not right now. Not against a heavy Marauder army. As we mentioned, this opener that Scarlett's going for is designed to shut down and hard counter 3-axes. But this is a little bit different here. It is technically, we're getting for 3-axes, that's true, but it's so Marauder heavy. So Marauder heavy, and again, tank heavy as well. This is not your typical 3-axe. Like, where stim is available. Does stim in. Yeah, does stim in. Does catch out the Immortal. Yeah, Scarlett. Gonna be losing everything here. It does overextend. Should not have been here. Caught off guard by the fast stim. And Scarlett is in trouble. Scarlett, she's in danger here. Sure, there's going to be a Colossus, but I'll be honest, we have seen many a Marauder-based army just stim forward and hunt down Colossi. Like, that Colossus is not safe. Again, the Colossus is ideal to shut down a Marine heavy style, but this is not Marine heavy. There's not a lot of Marines here. It's more Marauder and tank heavy instead, and here we go. herO does rotate, does head towards a natural. Scarlett is in danger. First Colossus has arrived. 1 Colossus, 1 Sentry, 1 Stalker, and 2 Shield Batteries, and a Dream. Let's go. And tank volley is going to be going up. herO moving in. Just rallying everything across the map. Again, this is a 2-base all-in. Snipes the Observer. Observer goes down. And you can see herO just slowly encroaching upon the natural. Slowly sieging forward. And Scarlett has no charge. Scarlett has no blink. Scarlett has no way to dive on this army. And again, Colossus are not going to cut it. Not against this kind of army. Not against this. I will set up 3 Colossus, true. With enough Colossus, I mean, you can kill anything, I suppose. True, not wrong. We just need 6 Colossus. Let's go. But now the tank within range of the Nexus. Scarlett has to commit. Solos are going to be dealt with. Yeah, the Colossus, they cannot touch the tanks. So many volleys here just tanked by the Marauders. Breaks through the first tank, getting on top of the second. Okay, the third tank is too far behind. Oh, but here comes the stim. And the stim is brutal. And you can see every stim hurts. Remember, this is an all-in without medevacs. There are no medevacs with the army. Medevacs just now going to be on the way. They're just now rallying over. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have been opposed to herO just pulling the boys, but is opting to keep them at home. Now 3 Colossus. The first tank should go down. Not bad. Scarlett's holding. Whew, Scarlett does hold. herO does abandon this position. He backs off, and Scarlett will survive. Getting up to a 4th Colossus. Let's go. Getting up to a 4th Colossus. Let's go. The Mass Colossus army. herO pulling away, going for a drop. Behind this, third CC on location. Here he has recognized the all-in has failed. Did trade well initially, but again, was a little bit too spread out, a little bit too spread thin. Tanks, they weren't supporting each other, and the game continues. Okay. We have a game. We have a game here. Now, I will say that this third base for Scarlett is going to be late. It's going to be delayed, but still has a formidable force in the center. Bully back herO. Bully herO back. herO sitting up on the high ground. Vikings have arrived. I'm not too confident in Scarlett pushing into this kind of army. It's a very sentry-heavy composition. Very sentry-heavy. Rotating over. Because of that, the anti-air is lacking. With enough Vikings, herO could maybe even ignore the sentries and just hunt this down. Like, Scarlett has to respect the Vikings here. Has to pull away. Without Stalkers, these Colossus are so vulnerable to the mass Viking. As Vikings are spreading out here to deal with prisms. Scarlett backs off, and the game continues. From here, working towards Blink, Temple Archives on the way for Storm, for Archons. Scarlett is building up. Likewise, so is herO. Let's go. We go. Scarlett's still building up. Still building up, so has a presence on the map. Blink is not yet done, bear that in mind. But Scarlett is posturing. Trevor goes down. Again, Scarlett should not push into this, but just poking in. Peeking for whatever she can. Fourth base on the way. Storm has begun. We're getting there. Of course, herO still has that economic lead, that economic advantage. Scarlett needs that fourth. And herO's building up a terrifying army. Just a very Marauder-heavy composition. Beyond, is that you? Oh, God. We get spotted. This is where Storm isn't going to be as effective either. Like, Storm is on the way, that's true, but Marauders, they can tank some Storms. Ooh, mispathing. Mispathing. Free Colossus. Colossus goes down. Ay, ay, ay. Again, that's 12 Vikings. And Scarlett, despite surviving earlier, not quite able to recover. Not against this. Nice force fields. Force fields, they pop up for the Vikings. They go in. The one Colossus goes down. Second Colossus as well. Where the Stalkers, there's no anti-air. They're limited anti-air. The Colossus crumble. And herO snowballs out of control. Breaks through that offensive line. Lands the Vikings. The Storms are too late. 5 seconds away. Yeah, too little too late here. They're just now finishing up, but now there's no army. There's nothing left. Vikings headed for the main. And the third base has been broken. Again, just a really rough opener here for Scarlett. Rushing into Colossus against the early all-in. Event, like, it did survive, that's true, but didn't really thrive. Didn't really thrive here. Vikings taking down 19 probes. Storm's going to be coming in just to buy some time. But herO won't be stopped. herO will not be stopped. Brutal tank shots. They shut down the High Templar. The tank volleys are brutal. And Scarlett has been broken. GG gets called, and herO will take a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And with that, herO does take a lead, and we'll see if he can extend that lead. We'll see if Scarlett can bring it back. Again, winding it back, it was a bit of a rougher start for Scarlett, opening up Robo, going for a Colossus-based opener, specifically against a tank-based and Marauder-based all-in. I think was caught a little bit by surprise there by just how many Marauders were building up, and we saw that Scarlett was caught in the center of the map. At the start of the game, if you remember, she opened up Immortal, moved out with her Immortals and Sentries, and got caught out in the open. Everything just went down, everything went south, and from there, Scarlett was contained on 2 bases. So just a really rough start there for Scarlett, but we'll see if she can recover. We'll see how our players do adjust their openers here as we jump into game number 4. Let's go. Just see in the chat, why are they off-racing? Any reason? It's it's an off-race show match. The show match is predicated on them off-racing. it's the point of the show match. It's the point of the series. It's an off-race show match. And here we go. We're jumping into our next game. Jumping into game number 4. Let's go. Here we go. If they wouldn't be off racing, they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't. They wouldn't be playing. Here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the typically Protoss, but now off racing as Terran. It is herO. For Twisted Minds. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Shopify Rebellion down in the series. We'll see if she can bring it back and tie the series up. It is Scarlett. Buying appliances. Yo, do we get a new vacuum? Unironically exciting. Unironically. If so, that's hype. Clean that house. So now, let's settle again. We do have initial openers here. Now, herO last game did open up with a Rax Expand economic opener. Here, as we load into Tokamak, Tokamak is one of the larger maps in that pool. Economic openers are more standard here, are more expected. And we see no second gas. No second gas, guys. So herO is going for the faster command center. Fridge and washing machine. Oh, let's go. Oh my god. Oh. Probe does dip in. And we'll pull away. So Scarlett does scout. Scarlett is aware of the single gas. So aware. From here, attempting to delay the expansion, CC is going to be thrown down. And herO does expand. Now, if you recall, last game, herO tried to counter, or tried to hard counter, like Adept Aggression by going for a Marauder follow-up. Aggression that never really came. Oh my god, a nice pick-off here there from Scarlett. Will delay the CC. Yeah, the SV takes a lot of hits, takes a lot of damage. Reaper does swap out, and herO can now focus on expanding. Now pull back in. Takes out the probe. Smooch. So fast, like Clem. True. herO is, his Terran is pretty equivalent to Clem. Is true. Aye. It's like how Clem, he has the best Protoss in Europe. Like herO has the best Terran in Korea. True. I'm loving the banter. Behind this is going for a standard follow-up here. Gas on the way, factory on the way as well. Oh, and once again, Robo Opener. Oh, I should have pointed this out earlier, but again, just like the last game, Robo Opener here out of Scarlett. Once again, I was curious how old school Scarlett was playing, and this was a more trendy back in the day. This can lead once again into early Colossus production. Into a safety immortal, into Colossus play. We've seen where that can struggle, especially with herO's Marauder heavy style last game. But this time herO going for a 1-1-1, standard opener. Okay, no crazy fast concussive shell, no fast Marauders, not this time. So I do favor Scarlett's start here. Start here in game 3 or game 4. Do favor it more so than last game. There we go. Yep, going into the boss bay, going to the fast Colossus. And again, this build is designed to hard counter 3x sim. Like early sim timings are hard countered by this. The Reaper does scout. Reaper confirms everything. Sees the Robo and the Bay as well. Now what this struggles against is drop play. As you can imagine, because we're going for a Robo into a Bay, no Twilight Council, no Stargate, no Blink, no Phoenixes. Anti-air is very limited when it comes to this army. We actually saw that come into play in the mid-game of last game. That's why there were so few Stalkers. That's why there was no presence, nothing to save and protect the Colossus from the Vikings. The Vikings, they just went to town last game. And likewise, drop play can excel here. So here, moving out with his first drop. We'll see if Scarlett can keep up. Scarlett claiming her third. Oh! We'll zone away. Does try to zone. herO picks up the probe, but doesn't really get much else. Pulling back. Oh! Now going for the Stalker. Lock-on is brutal, and it does not get the Stalker, but does get the Sentry. And Sentry goes down. Bullying back the Stalkers. Immortal has arrived, and with that, Scarlett should hold. Scarlett should hold on. All in all, I mean, I would say a better trade for Scarlett. herO did get a Sentry, which is nice. True. Sentry does have a lot of value. Behind this, herO claiming a third CC, building up towards a longer macro game. Okay, and this is where Scarlett can settle in. Last game did struggle against the more aggressive build out of herO, but here herO is being more economic. I say that, still being active. Despite expanding behind this, is pushing. It's pushing out, bearing in mind that this is very Beyond-esque, just like last time before Stim. This is a pre-Stim push. The goal here is to break the third, and to catch Scarlett being too greedy. And we'll see if herO can pull this off. Does get within range of the Nexus. Try to bait the army in. Remember, there's no charge or blink. Remember, this is one of the downsides here of this build. Colossus, oh! Doesn't quite get a volley off. Tank's pushing forward. And the Colossus is getting a little bit too close. Viking has arrived. Zoning the Colossus away, and the base is going to go down. Massive pick off. And this is all the herO wanted. It kills the third. And from here, I have to get the hell out of here. Scarlett collapses in. And we'll clean up the army. Oh no, without losing to the Colossus. Colossus goes down. The Immortal as well. Oh my god. The Immortal falls, and herO can pull away. herO can just walk away. Remember, there's no blink, so Scarlett cannot chase. Has to retake the third, but lost the Colossus and the Immortal as well. Ay, ay, ay. Scarlett trying to hunt down that tank. Might be able to catch up, actually. Viking does land. Won't be able to. And Viking pulls away. And herO does preserve his army. And this is just a really rough start here for Scarlett. Again, herO, as soon as he saw the opener, he punished it so hard. herO, he knows how to TVP. Really is Clem. Oh my god. From here, expanding, getting a third base. herO does take an economic lead. Scarlett does fall behind. Now from here, there are ways to recover, of course, going for a Zealot run by. Zealot drops blink counterattacks as well. But as we mentioned, because of the opener of Scarlett's, Twilight Council's not done. Like, there is no charge, there is no blink. The ability to harass here is very limited for Scarlett. That's why this build is very niche and why it's rarely seen nowadays. Scarlett rotating over. Headed towards the third. Does get into the mineral line, not bad. Gets 3 SCVs. Takes on 3 workers. herO has to reposition. Now, if hero's too passive, then Scarlett can recover. Scarlett now claiming a fourth, getting a fourth base up and running, working towards charge. Temple Archives on the way as well. If hero stays back, then Scarlett can catch up. So here's moving out with a Widow Mine drop. Mine drop is on the way. Oh, catching a medevac. Nicely done. He's on the medevac, but does want to go in. Yeah, does want to push in. Has to get the hell out of here. No. Bit of miscontrol as well. And with that, the first Colossus is going to go down. Ay, ay, ay. Colossus falls. Hero sims in. And Scarlett did overextend, did overstay her welcome. Losing both Colossus. Ay, ay, ay. Brutal losses there for Scarlett. Again, did fly too close to the sun, did poke in a little bit too far. And with that, down to just Disruptors. Disruptors, charge, blink just began, storm just began. Again, all this tech is delayed. Hero moving in. And how good a hero splits. There he goes up. No major connection. Hero pushing forward, getting a 4th CC. CC. Once again, Nova's don't quite connect. Hero splits well, or spreads well. And behind this hero, he's about to max. He's about to max out. Luna Snowball out of control. Soon he can stim and he can win. Bad, he can win. Ah. That's a lot of buy. Dropping into the main. Going for the production. Yeah, the Robo is exposed. Scarlett reacts with her army. Does keep Disruptors in position. Disruptor goes down. Robo as well. Hero moving in. Shows us Novas. Nova goes up once again. Here he does pull away. Yeah, avoids the Novas. Dives into the main base. And is pulling Scarlett apart. Oh, we do get one good Nova though. Not bad. Nova connects, but we need more than one. We need more than one here. As the army can come in from behind. Nova goes off, takes down a couple of Marauders. But the army just stims in. Yeah, just stims in, takes down the Stalkers, takes down the Disruptors as well. And there's nothing left. Nothing here. 27 probe kills, drop back into the main base. And Scarlett has almost nothing left. Once again, just a really rough start there for Scarlett. Going for the river opener into the Pasture Bay, into the Colossus, and didn't really achieve much with it. And lost everything across the map. And again, even though historically we've seen more aggressive builds out of Hero, here has been enjoying a little more macro play, or at least longer game states. So his natural into his third. A lot of it did come down to the first push though, if you recall. Which is not the third. Which is not the expansion. It was just a brutal way to punish the build of Scarlett. I mean, Hero does main base Protoss, so he knows, like, the vulnerabilities of certain openers. It's crazy. So there we go, Storm popping up. We got some decent Storms. At the same time, Hero snipes the third. Takes down the Nexus. Moves in with the Liberators. And we'll just overwhelm whatever's left here. Down to 2 Stalkers. Down to 1. Hero working towards +3, getting his 4th base up and running. Still macroing out of this. Still maintaining himself. And Scarlett down to no splash damage. At one point had Colossus, had Disruptors, even Storm, but not anymore. Not anymore. Kira just searching for expansions, finds the full mining base. Scarlett trying to break out. Oh, good. There's still Liberation as well. 14 probe kills, takes down the mineral line. And again, slowly over time, Scarlett will just bleed out these bases. Bleed out the expansions. And here is having fun. The stutter stepping. Oh, God. Calm down, Clem. Calm down. Oh, nice Storm. Storm in the main army. Here is still just rallying across, waiting for his reinforcements. Now they've arrived. And from here, we'll just clean up the fringe bases. Setting up the 4th. Scarlett gonna try to engage, pushing into Liberations, and it's oh god. And GG gets called. Hero will extend his lead in the series, taking a lead 3-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Does extend his lead here, and Hero, he's one game away from claiming the series. We'll see if Scarlett can bounce back. Again, has already shown off some prowess here with her Protoss, of course, in Game 1. But what I will say is that coming into Game 2, 3, and 4, we've seen nothing but robot openers out of Scarlett. And again, we've seen herO punish these openers time and time again. It has not really been worth it, has not paid off. Will we see Scarlett deviate? Do we go into a standard Blink-based opener, into 3-gate Blink, 4-gate Blink Stalker? Do we go for something different? Do we even go for some cheese? Oh boy. We're here to find out, as we're going to be loading into one of these smaller maps in the map pool. Here, all-ins are favored. Terran all-ins are going to be favored here. So I'm a little bit concerned. We'll see how Scarlett will approach this as we load into Pylon. Let's go. Pylon is coming up next, as we load into game number 5. Here we go, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Shopify Rebellion down in the series. We'll see if she can bring it back and look to force the ace match. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran representing Twisted Minds. It is herO. Hello. As herO, he does move out across the map with the SCV, bearing in mind only one SCV. We've seen this before, if you recall. We saw this on Persephone, with herO opening up with what looks to be an eBay block. A way to block across the map, a way to disrupt the opener of Scarlett. I'm hoping that this time either Scarlett's able to see this ahead of time, or able to react a little bit faster and claim a faster expansion. If you recall on Persephone, it was just such a delayed natural base from Scarlett. It was just a really rough opener after the successful eBay block, and we'll see if we can replicate that success. As the eBay is on the way. And Scarlett, she's not able to check in time, so she won't be able to cancel this eBay. Scarlett has to make a choice here, and again, should respond with a faster natural elsewhere. Yeah, there we go. Much faster response. Pro pulls away. And there's a Nexus. And again, this is the response that we should have seen on Persephone, but it was a bit of a shaky response. Again, like, it showed that maybe Scarlett wasn't too familiar with the situation, but this is a cleaner game here, a cleaner response compared to Persephone. Let's go. Now, of course, the downside here, as herO goes for a factory before expansion. You can still go CC after the eBay block, but here herO does go for the factory, going for the reactor. Now, what's scary about this setup is that herO can go for the add-on swap into Hellions, and the purpose of that would be to punish the setup from Scarlett. Scarlett is forced to take the unnatural. Natural Scarlett is split between the third and the main base. It is more awkward to defend these two locations at once, and herO can try to punish with Mass Hellion. Ooh, getting ready for the starports. Yeah, factory's about to finish. We're going for the starport, going for the proxy. I would say drop into the main. Uh-oh. There's that island swap. Yep, going to Hellion production. And we are looking for that starport. CC has been thrown down, so another one base all in. Hellion production has begun. And there's that starport. Yep, Hellion drop into the main. I get herO. He knows. He knows all about TVP, papi. It's crazy. Almost like he plays the reverse of this all the time. But yes, we have the proxy. Now, technically, this could be a Liberator. It could be proxy Liberator into the main and then Hellions towards the natural instead. Or it could be Medevac into just Hellion drop into the main. So there are two options. Two options here available to herO. As herO does make an extra wave of Hellions, herO pokes in. Is going to be a Stargate opener out of Scarlett. Now, Stargate openers are very common in this kind of position. The reasoning for this, as we mentioned, as we try to emphasize, it is so difficult and so awkward for a Protoss player to defend their third and their main base at the same time. But the Oracle does alleviate some of that pressure because the Oracle doesn't care about terrain, right? It can maneuver between the bases faster and a little bit more seamlessly to defend against these Hellions and Reapers. Meanwhile, 4 Hellions, they can one-shot. Yeah, probes are going to be going down. They're getting roasted. That's already going to be 4 probes going down. Oracle is revealed. 6 probe kills already. Hellions, they back off. And, ooh, because of that, we don't really have that many Hellions to load up into the medevac. But more Hellions are on the way. More Hellions are on the way. It's already a decent start for herO. He rotates back around, going for the drop into the main, followed by the Liberator as well. And this time the Oracle's not at home. Yeah, this time the Oracle's across the map. We'll get some SCV kills. But what about the main base of Scarlett? Ay, ay, ay. SCVs are going down. That's good damage, but here come the Hellions. As they do bust into the main. And no warp in. The probe's going to be going down. They're getting roasted. And Scarlett, she's going to lose too much. She's going to lose far too much here. 9 probes going down. We're still not done. 12 probes. 12 worker kills. Drop rotating over towards a third. Scarlett trying to keep up. Racing on over. These Hellions are unloaded. Taking 2-shot. They don't got much damage done. Scarlett does defend at the same time. Liberator into the main. More probe damage. More probe kills. 16. Full mineral line goes down. Ay, ay, ay. And back at home, herO making SCVs. herO been building up SCVs. Massing up Cyclones to defend against the Oracle. Starport's floating back home. And herO does kick things off with a lead. So herO, he is ahead economically. Oh, catching out the Phoenix. Oh no! Yeah, the Phoenix gets caught out. Brutal pickoff. herO hunting for the Oracle. As the Oracle is still active, still out there. herO moving out. And remember, because of the Stargate opener, herO, he knows there's no blink. He knows there is no blink. So there's no threats here to this army. Oh no! Catching out the Oracle. And there's no escaping. There's no escaping this. Another shot goes up. Oracle goes down. And behind this herO, he could go for a 2-base all-in, but he's expanding. Third CC. Third CC is on the way. herO building up towards his third base. Macroing out of this. +1 is on the way. Extra Raxes. Honestly, could just turn this into a 2-base all-in, but it's just playing it out safely. It's calming down. Yo, that's an F2 Liberator. That's does siege it up. So we just send it across the map. herO, man of the people. Let's go. As they ready to just move into the main. This time Scarlett should deal with it without too much issue. Losing 1 Stalker. Better defense. Hellions towards the mineral line. And herO backs up. herO does retreat. Again, he's still lacking his upgrades. No reason to push out now, because we may as well wait for +1. +1. Stim is on the way. herO, he doesn't want to hit an anti-timing. Just waiting for his upgrades, waiting for everything to kick in. As he calms down, as he waits, Scarlett, what is she working on? Working on charge. Charge is done. +1 is done. Working on blink. Currently, no splash damage. That's the big concern here. Whether it's Colossus, Disruptor, Storm, we need something. A pure gateway composition can work if you have momentum. If the Protoss is ahead, if they have an extra base over their opponents, if they have that economic lead, then sure, they can pull off that Swarm Toss style. But that's not the current game state. Scarlett moving out. Catching out the Zealot. Claiming his third. Here we're just building up. And again, there's just no rush for herO. There's no rush. From the side of Scarlett, this is where the pressure's on to go for Prism drop into the main, Zealot run by into a base as herO moves out. Going for Dark Templar, Storm. There are definitely some avenues to recover, but TVP, it's difficult. It's difficult to take momentum away from your opponent. Moving out with the double drop. Double drop towards the left. Storm has begun. And again, Scarlett does need Storm. Scarlett does spot the drop. Oh. Army sims in, trades well against the Zealots, does kite well. Yeah, charges are going down. Shouldn't be able to get on top of the upgrades. Thankfully, there is a shield battery, but still just brutal trades here, going for the pylon. Yeah, just pylon's gonna go down. Depowers everything, denies +1, just barely no shot. He's gonna get it, the Forge. Oh god, thankfully not. The Forge will survive. Ooh, there's a blink. Scarlett does hold. Oh god, I spoke too soon. I spoke way too soon. The Forge goes down, +1 is indeed denied. Marines, I do so much. Man with gun is pretty good. It's pretty good. And here comes herO. Here comes herO. Pushing right down the center. Storm is complete. There's one High Templar. There's one Storm available. Nice, very nice last second split out of herO. Avoids the Storm. Looks like we have one more, as there was the energy overcharge. So another Storm coming in. Storm mainly on the tank. Wouldn't mind push forward. Another Storm zones. And we have more Storms on the way. Scarlett needs a little bit more time. The herO just forcing his way through. Pushing forward with the tanks. Better Storm on the Widow Mines. And there's soon to be 2 more Storms. Oh, that's never mind. EMP goes off. Down to 1. 1 Storm left. Brutal EMP. EMP on the Sentry as well. Sentry goes down. herO stims in. Breaks through the Stalkers. No shield batteries. And Scarlett dives on forward into the minefield. And Scarlett will lose everything here. herO snowballs out of control. Breaks through the Stalkers. GG gets called. And herO will claim the series 4-1. Claiming the best of 7. And showcasing his Terran. GG. GG. GG, well played. Again, we've seen herO compete and showcases Terran against players like Dark, against players like MaxPax as well. herO showing it off against Scarlett. Now, I will say that herO did have the advantage of playing a reverse race. What I mean by that, Scarlett, for example, like many Zerg players, whenever they do off races Protoss, they usually do it to avoid ZVZ and to play against Zerg, and they have a lot more like kind of like knowledge when it comes to the intricacies of that kind of matchup and of that back and forth. That's one of the reasons why players do excel with off racing to avoid a mirror matchup, just because they know the opposite end that much better. And that was clearly shown here from the side of herO in regards to his initial Marauder response to try to punish the Stalker aggression or the Gateway aggression of Scarlett, the scouting of the Robo Opener and punishing that with the early like Beyond push, with the Stimless Marine push with tanks, punishing that build. And likewise, punishing the third base location, the unnatural natural, with Hellions and with a Hellion drop into the main, right? Like, this is all like after scouting, after confirming what Scarlett was up to, herO did do everything he could to almost hard counter, just shut it down, to punish those builds specifically and to abuse that. Again, because he's been on the receiving end of that for so much and so long. Typically, Scarlett, when she excels with her Protoss, it's in PvZ. It's against Zerg players, not typically against Terran. So GG, well played. So herO did have that advantage, is what I will say, as that's typically where players do excel with their off race, is against their main race. But regardless, GG, well played. Scarlett was able to pose a threat in the first game, able to make a series out of it as well. GG, well played. Congratulations here to herO, as it does claim the series, and a shout out to Scarlett as well for competing and for taking part in that show match. Again, for those that are maybe tuning in a little bit later, this was an off-race best of 7 show match between Scarlett and herO, intended to be an off-race show match. And a shout out to LiuLi, a shout out to Saber for, of course, orchestrating and for hosting this invitational. Again, LiuLi Cup, this is LiuLi Cup 40, so here is our champion. And LiuLi Cup is a semi-regular tournament where there's no really set format. Sometimes it's a best of 7 show match, sometimes it's a round robin 5-player group, sometimes it's a GSL group, sometimes it's a full player invitational. They do kind of adjust the format depending on, you know, what they're looking at and what they're looking for. But a shout out to Saber, and again, shout out to Saber for, of course, sharing these games as well. Gracias, bienvenidos, thank you, GG, well played. Hero's Terran is better than Clem's Protoss. Bold statement, papi. Bold statement. Clem has the best Protoss in Europe, papi. That's crazy. That's crazy. Regardless, GG. GG. Imagine dying at 99%. That was a brutal denial. Brutal denial. Oh. Why didn't herO go Zerg? Just because hero's more confident with his Terran. I think herO, he's over 6k on the Korean ladder with his Terran. Like, hero's Terran's... so it's pretty terrifying. And that's all they agreed upon. herO Zerg is more lackluster. We have been born witness to herO Zerg before. It leaves a lot to be desired. It's very rough around the edges, is what I will say. Much more than his Terran. But with that, GG, well played, and I hope you'll enjoy yourselves. Hope you'll had a great time here in today's broadcast. We just wrapped up with the LATAM League Finals and also with LiuLi Cup number 40. Our next broadcast should be later on tonight. It's going to be a very intense weekend of StarCraft. Let's catch up on our schedule, catch up on our brackets from the bottom here, from the top. Sunday. The weekend. Hope you've all been having a lovely weekend and a great start to your weekend as well. Here we are Saturday morning. We just wrapped up with our morning broadcast, and later on tonight, what do we have? We have the Esports World Cup Global Qualifiers. The Global Qualifiers are finally upon us. We have an 8-player setup. Actually, I can show you guys. Hold on. Esports World Cup. But we have 8 players. We have 8 players, and I don't know if we have the bracket yet. It'd be crazy if we don't. Yeah, we don't. God damn it. But we can show this off. One momento. Okay, here we go. Bam, beautiful. Okay, so later on tonight at 11 p.m. KST, that's going to be at midnight my time. That's going to be in 10 hours. In 10 hours time, we're going to be live with the Esports World Cup Global Qualifier. Bam, there we go. Oh, that's not what I was looking for. There it is. There it is. With our qualifier. And as you can see here, we have 3 players from the Korean qualifier. We have Byeon, Gumiho, and Ryung. We have 3 Terrans from the Korean qualifier. We have Goblin, herMarine, and Lambo from the European qualifier. Showtime initially actually made it through over Lambo, but because of Showtime's performance at Star Zagora, Showtime is already in Esports World Cup. He's already made it through into the main event, which means Lambo has a chance to redeem himself here in the last chance qualifier. We have Estrella from the Americas qualifier, and of course Lemon from the Asia qualifier as well. So we have in total 3 Protoss, 4 Terran, and 1 Zerg looking to make it into the Esports World Cup. And have a look at the bracket here. And the bracket has yet to be filled out, but it's going to be an 8-player double elimination format. These are going to be best of 5s and best of 7 qualifying matches, and out of all the 8 players, 4 players make it through. Honestly, there's a pretty good chance, like 50-50, like pretty good chance. I say 50-50. I mean, the caliber of players here is going to be intense and very insane, and everyone's going to be playing their hearts out here to make it into the Esports World Cup. This is basically the last chance qualifier for Esports World Cup. 4 players out of our 8 will make it through, and it's hard to make any predictions here, really, without looking at the bracket. Without seeing the lineups here, it's hard to guess as to who can make it far, who can't. I think a good example of that is certain matchups. For example, I do think that Lambo, the matchup that he's struggling in the most right now is ZVT. So I do worry for Lambo against Terran players. Against Protoss, I feel like he has a really good shot. Like Lambo, he has some killer ZVP. Unfortunately, he has no ZVZ. Like Lambo, he went to the ace match against Cyril recently. It was in the European qualifiers. He went to the ace match. Like Lambo, he has some killer ZVZ. Unfortunately, there's no other Zergs, so he can't really show that off. Another example of that is like Gumiho, for example. Gumiho, he has arguably the best TVT in the world. Like Gumiho and Ryung, they are TVT snipers. If they end up in a matchup here with Terran into Terran, then that's where Gumiho and Ryung can thrive. That's where they can thrive. That's where they can excel. Meanwhile, from the side of Byeon, he does have some. I would say that Byeon's Terran versus Protoss is a little bit better than Gumiho and Ryung's, for example. So that's where he would maybe excel a little bit more. Same with Gabe. So yeah, depending on the matchup here, depending on the lineups, it's going to be a wild time. Also, the dark horse here, Goblin. Shout out to Goblin, by the way. Goblin, he popped off in the European qualifiers. If you missed out, I do recommend the VODs. We were casting every single qualifier live on the channel. European, Asia, Korea, and North America as well, or the Americas. And Goblin, he went beast mode during the qualifiers. It was crazy. Like, again, he made it over some of the other more notable players out there, like Skillus, for example, or Laser, or Spirit Piotr. Like, Goblin, he surpassed them all. Like, Goblin, he popped off during the qualifiers, and we'll see if he can pop off it again. Like, he's been looking really good as of late, and there's a lot of hype around Goblin as well. Likewise, Lemon, also a bit of a darker horse. I will say that Lemon excels in PvP. Like, we've seen Lemon take maps and take it to players like MaxX, take to players like herO, for example. Like, Lemon has some killer PvP. The other matchups I'm a little bit more concerned about for Lemon, but we'll see. We'll see what he brings to the table. Again, all the players have been preparing for the qualifier, for the global qualifier. And again, that's later on tonight. It's going to be later on tonight here in 10 hours' time. What happened to Lancer? He's already in. Lancer, he's already. So just like here for Showtime is already in the Esports World Cup. So is Lancer. So they both they don't have to qualify. That's why there's a line through Showtime. There's a line through Lancer. Lambo is the replacement man for Showtime, and Lemon is the replacement man for Lancer. Why is there a line through that? As we mentioned, there's a line through their names because they don't. Technically, they were originally a part of the qualifier, but now they don't have to play. They're already in. They're already in the main event. They're already in Esports World Cup. Showtime, he made it through because of Stars Agora. He did place very, very highly at Stars Agora, and so the qualification spot from Stars Agora went to Showtime. For Lancer, if you recall, Firefly, his spot was taken away from him. Firefly, of course, was it did recently become public that Firefly was involved in match fixing. So Firefly, he has been suspended. Firefly, his slot was taken away from him and given to Lancer instead. So Lancer has the Asia spot. So that's why they have both made it through. Whew. But with that, we are going to be wrapping up. With that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the morning. Again, we have 10 hours until the next cast. All right, sorry. I was meant to get into it. We have our schedule here. So again, in 10 hours time, we're going to be live with the Esports World Cup Global Qualifier Day 1. It's a 2-day event. 2-day event. We have it on Saturday and Sunday evening. On top of that, we have Sparkling Tuna Cup, our weekly open tournament. That's going to be on Sunday before EWC. It's going to be a close schedule, but we're going to be casting Sparkling Tuna Cup, then into EWC qualifiers. Meanwhile, tonight we're going to be casting EWC qualifiers into the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit. That's what that is there. Sunday morning at 5 a.m. KST. That's going to be 6 a.m. my time. So very early in the morning after the global qualifiers, bam, the Brazilian circuit. Let's go. That is an offline tournament happening in Brazil. Big offline event. So we're going to be the official English casters for that. So again, back-to-back events, back-to-back StarCraft, a very intense weekend as it always is here on the CranKy Ducklings. When it comes to the remainder of the week, next week coming up, we do have Home Story Cup. Home Story Cup is next week. We haven't even heard announcements of who's really going. I say that we just got an announcement from Streamer Zone. I believe Streamer Zone, they're sending out a lot of their players to Home Story Cup. Outside of that, I don't think we've seen any announcements yet. But yes, Home Story Cup is next weekend, and we will most likely be the casters for that as well. The B stream, the side stream. We've been the B stream for the past like 3 Home Story Cups, so we should be for this one as well. I say should be. I don't have any confirmation. I just reached out yesterday, I think, to the boys to confirm what's going on. So I'm making the assumption there, but probably we will. Again, so probably we're going to be a part of that. So that's going to be next weekend. Likewise, we also have Esports World Cup. That's in 2 weeks. It's crazy, but in 2 weeks time we have the Esports World Cup. We do have permission to co-stream, so we're going to be co-streaming that event as well. We'll be co-streaming on the channel. Oh wait, no, sorry, I said 2 weeks time, my apologies. 2 weeks time, I misread the calendar, is RSL, my apologies. So in 2 weeks, that's the RSL playoffs, and in a month's time, that's Esports World Cup. So my apologies, I misspoke. I saw the wrong event on the thing. So yes, so in 2 weeks is RSL, but in a month's time, that's Esports World Cup. And again, we do have permission to co-stream that, so we're going to be featuring that here on the channel as well. It's going to be a 4-day event, 4 days. So it's still a very intense period here of StarCraft. And thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. I hope you have a lovely and great weekend. Hope you have a great time. That means 10 hours of ladder. Oh no. Oh no. No shot, no shot. I am gonna go get some breakfast. I'm gonna go get some breakfast, and I do plan on sleeping before, because it's gonna be EWC into the Brazilian circuit. I do plan on sleeping before that, so that's the plan for me at least. Get some food and get some work done. Edit VODs, schedule VODs as well. Do have a lot to catch up on, so that's my plan. That's my plan for the day. I do apologize for not laddering this week. I try to ladder at least once a week. I do try to stream at least once a week. Yeah, there's just been a lot of catching up. Like I'm just still so I'm still so behind because of DreamHack Dallas into Esports World Cup qualifiers. Like we were non-stop casting like 3 times a day every day. Because I did fall behind in regards to scheduling like VODs, so I'm still catching up. I'm still catching up. But next week I should ladder. Should be able to stream, should be able to ladder next week. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great time. If you want to support us, you can do so via following us, !socials in the chat. You can follow us on YouTube. We do stream on a daily basis, and we upload on a daily basis as well, over on YouTube and here on Twitch as well. Likewise, you can also support us via Patreon, !Patreon. Our Patreon is designed to fund our tournaments. Events like Duckling Open, Macedon Open, and Sparkling Tuna Cup. They're all funded via Patreon, and they are all grown via Patreon as well. It is all grassroots StarCraft, and again, our Patreon, 100% of the money goes towards the players. Our next goal is at 500 USD a month. We're almost there. We're almost there, so you can help us reach that goal. If you want to help support StarCraft and the players in the scene, that's a way to do it. It is a way to do it. Our next goal after this one would be where we can start getting paid. That's I believe our next goal after this one is so that we can start paying out admins and casters for these events. But for the time being, for our Patreon, it all goes towards the players. All towards the players. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for support. And we'll see you guys in 10 hours for the Esports World Cup qualifier. See you then. See you then. Papi, see you then. Ciao. Papi, ciao. Hasta luego.